Yeah. Well, it gives you the option, at least.
Yeah, so anyway, let's get into the game. Here we go. It is going to be logiX versus ESC. It is loading up. The game screen is on. So let's give you a quick roster rundown. It is going to be Severus on Kennen, Akioso on... Akioso? I think I put an O in there, extra there. Akioso. Oh, that's really going to screw me up. On LeBlanc, regardless. Intox is going to be on Janna, and Blood Dragon on Shyvana. Sleazy Weezy will be on Lee Sin. And it will be actually Shyvana in the jungle, so Lee Sin will be up the top lane. For ESC, Icy Box, it's going to be Dolladro on Maokai, Bambucha on Morgana. That's going to be in middle. Crazy weird pick with LeBlanc there. I'm not too sure LeBlanc was picked up after Morgana there if you've just joined us. Luke on Soraka. Playing will be on Graves, and Psycho on Volibear. So Volibear up the top versus Lee Sin. Going to be an interesting one. Obviously, he can get out of that. Obviously, Volibear's going to go in, go for the flip. Lee Sin can easily escape that one. So, Joe Miller, what is your money on here? logiX coming into this one 8-0, 6-0-2 for ESC. Pretty close between the two teams.
It's got to be on ESC, hasn't it, with the picks that we've got in this game. As we've mentioned, this LeBlanc pick against a Morgana that was already locked in. Surely it's just going to be Black Shield and, well, GG from that point. LeBlanc's one of those, well, if you don't get off to a good start, if you don't get get yourself fed early on, you are going to struggle when that late game comes, especially against someone like Morgana, who's just like this rock that seems to be immovable throughout entire games. So I'm really not fancying the logiX lineup. However, they are the only team in EPS Germany so far undefeated, sitting at 8-0. So maybe they're going to throw us off a little bit with this one. But it looks like we are going to be seeing Volibear up in that top lane against Lee Sin. Obviously, Sleazy Weezy, we saw him most recently on the top level, I can say, in playing for SK in Kiev as a jungler. That's something we've known him as. However, for logiX, he does tend to play this top lane role a little bit more often as well. Blood Dragon, who I guess that's possibly one of the better nicknames you can have when playing Shyvana as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, we talk about LeBlanc, but the other thing is that their other four picks are very good, and they're very strong. I mean, Lee Sin, Shyvana, Kennen, Janna, they are all top picks. So, maybe that we're just a little bit confused by the LeBlanc pick. Maybe there's something that Akioso knows with LeBlanc that we don't against Morgana. Obviously feeling a lot more confident. So the pull coming out for Sleazy Weezy helping out Shyvana there, quickly farming up. Meanwhile, you can see the golems down the bottom are being taken by Severus and tanked up by Intox there with that shield. You can see the rest of ESC covering off the blue there, so they're going to be pulling that. Actually went straight for it. They did go with the race, the typical Maokai start, and then switched straight over to the blue, directly for the blue. So, interesting one, bypassing the Wolves, needed the full leash pull. What have I missed?
They reset the blue, ESC.
Oh, dear me.
Something that you just don't want to happen. Finally, on second attempt, they managed to get it away. Luckily, it was running after Janna there. Not Janna. Soraka the whole time, so no one actually lost any HP. Shyvana was there sniffing around, and we are going to see already, as we've become so accustomed to with Shyvana, straight into the jungle on the opposition side. Does have Smite available. This red buff is going to go over, and I assume take down the small ones as well, so that she has the timing on that one. And there we go. So double buff at level 3 already for Blood Dragon, and surely he's going to head up top now and have a bit of a poke on Psycho. Playing Volibear up at that top lane, only on level 1 at this point as well. Not going to have the a try because he's on the tower pretty much.
Yeah, just keep playing safe and making sure he farms out his own jungle, I think, as well. So he's going to go back, get the Wolves, get the Wraiths, and probably go towards his own red. I'm wondering whether he's going to give his own red towards Severus or whether he's just going to take it and say, you know what, I'm going to go completely out-experience you very quickly here. Maokai's obviously realised it. He's just passed out on that red, so he realises it's not there. He won't quite have the exact timing on it. Meanwhile, down the bottom there, pretty standard stuff between the two. Obviously, we are using Kennen as AD. It's sort of become a commonplace occurrence, I guess, lately. Obviously, it started off in Kiev, was kind of a strange one that we saw. Obviously, Genja using it. Genja seems to be setting the blazing path in that bottom lane, for people. He is definitely a trendsetter that people have sort of followed because, like I mentioned, Urgots has been used a lot there. So Bambucha getting caught out there, didn't obviously do any big combos on him, didn't blow any combos on him. I'm going to keep my eye on how much he's going to be levelling up that black shield. Hasn't gone for it yet, though, so maybe... obviously, Akioso is going to hopefully burst him down as quick as possible. That's what his plan is. Let's have a quick look down the bottom. Nothing really coming from that one. Leigh returning back to top as well. Volibear quite happily just keeping the lane on that tower.
Yeah, he's going to sit there in his comfort zone. Obviously, Shyvana, one of those, you don't want to be out of position. Literally an inch in terms of the screen is going to put you out a whole mile when it comes to Shyvana, especially since she's now up at level 4 as well. Obviously, early level 3, taking her blue, taking the opposition red as well. Meanwhile, in middle, Morgana has just come back. Doran's ring plus a couple of pots in there, so going to be hurting that little bit more. And as we mentioned, Akaiso, how much success is he going to have? Does have 1 point now in Black Shield, does Bambusha on Morgana. So that's going to make LeBlanc that little bit less effective as things go. And going to have to really hope for some good ganks from Shyvana, I think, to be getting kills onto this Morgana in middle.
Just keeping my eye on Shyvana. He's going into steal the Wraiths away. Will he just go for the big one and back off? Yes, he will. And he's just going to be playing naughty and just leave that last one there. Completely back away. Leigh just diving a little bit on towards Psycho there. I think actually Psycho going on towards him flips him as well. Won't really have enough damage, and Sleazy Weezy quite happy to just stand and bang with him at the moment because he's got the few minions. But he has suddenly took a big hit there. He has got Shyvana now coming up as well. Can Shyvana jump across? Hasn't hit 6 yet though. But Sleazy Weezy surely baited him well. Sleazy Weezy down 2 levels actually on Volibear. Had backed away. Tries to get away from it. It's been ignited as well. Might go down as First Blood. No, but Sleazy Weezy will drop as well. But First Blood did go to Sleazy Weezy. And well, logiX picking up the first kill, but obviously I'm not too sure how the experience will lay out when he went down afterwards as well, directly afterwards. I'm not too sure who would pick up the most experience between these two. Nevertheless, Shyvana's going to be happy because he picked up a support kill.
Yeah, the assist going in there for Shyvana, always nice to have. And actually, Shyvana's got more CS than pretty much everyone at the moment. It's just showing you how fast she moves around that jungle, obviously taking a bit of farm from that top lane as well. Meanwhile, down at bottom, Severus and Intox doing a decent job of keeping Play-In and Luke on their turret. So we do see a bit of damage being exchanged between those two AD carries down there. The CS at the moment is sitting 41 to Kennen, 43 to Graves, so slightly ahead, but very, very early doors. Not much to talk about there. Actually, a ping coming down onto Bambusha. That ward is just outside of the race, so Bambusha feeling he needs those wraiths to give him that little bit of an advantage. He needs to be careful though now because we are going to see them moving in there. Spell Shield did take most of that damage away, but ulti will be used by Shyvana. Moving in there, ulti is going to go off for Bambusha. Will it be enough for Alara to escape? We will see Dark Binding land as well, and Bambusha with pretty much 0 mana left. Yeah, 30 mana, didn't have any mana left to do anything else after that. Will escape that one. And well, very, very nicely done. Flash was used though, Exhaust was used over on the other side. I'm not sure why, but we didn't see a flash or an ignite used at all by LeBlanc. I'd have expected that to have come out a little bit earlier on, maybe.
Well, it didn't really have the mana to follow it up, I don't think. So probably just thought, you know what, we've just forced her out of lane. Oh, Shyvana getting spotted in the blue area. Actually going on towards Malco. Malco's going to be able to escape towards this turret here because obviously Shyvana had just used the ulti. Needs to be careful. You can see the bottom lane now moving as well on the minimap. You can see Luke making his way around. Play-In's going to try and cut them off, but there is a 3-man push here. And Severix actually catching a couple of basic attacks. Play-In could well be the target here. Blood Dragon, no, he's going to get caught out. Blood Dragon is surely going to go down. Has to flash away. He's going to continue on. Bambucha now can just about flashing out there. It was Intox. Intox might get caught out by Dark Bindings here. Yes, he will. That will be Intox going down. So Janna will not survive this one. And that will be a second kill for ESC. And well, while that's all happening, Sleazy Weezy is taking away the red buff as well. So good invade, good counter invade as soon as they realise that everybody's down here. So therefore, I should be in your jungle, taking everything away. Following up very nicely from Moscow 5 style there.
Yeah, real nice work from Sleazy Weezy. Keeping his eye on the ball and making sure that he's not missing any little opportunity. We did see he was a couple of levels behind earlier. Actually, he's going to go diving in there onto Psycho. He has got those minions focusing in onto him as well, so he's going to get back to his turret, but down to fairly low HP from that exchange. And now we'll have to be careful. Obviously, Volibear already fairly tanky. I almost said ziemlich tanky there, which is the German word for quite tanky. Damn German speaking for the last 7 days. But, I mean, he's got Ruby Crystal plus Doran's Blade, but he's looking very, very strong in this early phase of things. Let's have a look at CS in middle. 52 for LeBlanc, 63 for Morgana, who actually Morgana having an assist after that early gank attempt came in from Shyvana as well, and she managed to survive. So, 2-1 the lead. Still a little bit behind in gold at 9 minutes. Still a very wide open game.
Very wide open indeed. Shyvana continues on. Actually, the blue buff that he did steal earlier, remember he did get it. Now, Queso, I'm going to get his name right one of these days, has picked up that blue buff, which means they've got a double blue at the moment. They have the timers on the blues and the reds as well. Actually, I'm not too sure. I can still see the red marker there, so I'm not too sure whether Sleazy actually left something there.
Yeah.
I think he purposely, if I press F4, I think is which is the one that shows everything. Is it F4? I thought it was F4. Why can I not see?
F3, right? No, F2. No, F1. What?
No, I thought F4 is to show everything. It's not going to let me. Maybe you can't. Yes, because we're on live realm and you're not on tournament realm. Therefore, we're not allowed to do that. Anyway, moving on.
you can see that one. I saw it earlier.
Yeah, Maokai did just actually pick up the final one there, the final little lizard that was there. So Sleazy Weezy did leave that, which means he doesn't have the timings on the red at the moment. Shyvana, though, is going invade. He's going to come around the back of Bambucha. Bambucha already pretty low. Black Shield used up, and he does back away from that one. He easily walks off. And, well, Blood Dragon still in there. Dollar Drone now coming round. The ping's gone down. They're just like, should we go for this one? Not really too sure. Intox has been spotted by that ward bit down the bottom back. You can see Maokai again has walked back in towards that bush. And Blood Dragon not afraid to dive on the tower. Dollar Drone diving back on him, hoping he could stun him on the tower, but he wasn't going to follow through on that one.
There was some good damage. Yeah, some good damage done as well there by Morgana. By LeBlanc, who dove in on towards Morgana in that little fight. Obviously, Ignite was used as well, and we did see Morgana get away to safety. So Morgana escaping with a couple of times now with a little bit of HP. Dragon has been started, and I don't think anyone's going to be aware of this from the ESC side because it's just the jungler in that middle lane. Morgana's gone away from it. Actually, bottom lane from logiX did start to come up there, but it was already finished off, which will bring the gold into even more of an advantage, despite being behind in kills for the unbeaten team so far this season in EPS play. It needs to be a little bit careful here. Howling Gale is going to go across him, but who's got more damage? Let's say Intox just putting as much down as he could as well, which, well, it's not a lot, actually. And he will back away from that one. So still very tense stuff between these two teams.
Yeah, meanwhile, you can see Sleazy Weezy got a little flip as well by Volibear, flip towards the tower, but he get out of it. And that's like I say, Lee Sin's actually a pretty good match against Volibear because he can just escape. He's going to flip him straight in there and he'll just dash straight back out with his Safeguard. That's the one I'm after. Safeguard and Iron Will. He can switch between and easily just go straight towards a minion or a ward, whatever he's going to use. Severus actually diving down the bottom here, going towards playing. Is he going to maybe use the ulti? I'm not too sure. He thought about it there. But Intox didn't actually manage to put any Howling Gales across, so instead just forcing him away from lane and keeping away from the experience and gold. You can see Severus again realising it's like playing. It's like, no, don't go back yet. Don't go back yet. Luke's trying to keep him there. I'll heal you up. But he's definitely losing out on experience and gold at the moment, as Severus is doing a great job at zoning him out. Let's have a look towards Maokai. I can see Maokai going walkabouts on the river. He is heading up towards the top lane by the looks of it, but Shyvana's doing the same thing. Doladro is going to come around the back side of Sleazy Weezy here. Now Volibear's got the flip on him. He's going to dive straight in. You can see Sleazy Weezy is going to get caught. Does get the ulti down and knocked back, but I think he still might be able to get out of this one. Good ulti kick on towards Psycho there, and he will back away from this one. Meanwhile, let's quickly spin down the bottom. I can see Shyvana getting ready to dive down on towards playing, forced on towards that tower. Got a feeling he's going to ulti through as soon as this minion wave comes. He hasn't got a massive wave of minions though, but it definitely could be a double ulti here from Kennen and Volibear, Joe.
Certainly could be. Severus actually just getting in range of the turret, and they're just waiting, trying to push these minions as quickly as they possibly can. ESC doing a good job of holding this off. We have seen that Akaiso is there as well, so this is going to be a big dive onto this bottom turret. Focus will obviously be playing first, and he's melted away. Luke will be second target. Who's going to take him down? That will be Akaiso, and that's 2 kills for nothing down at the bottom. Sleazy Weezy, in the meantime, was super low. He went back home while that was all going on, but this top turret is going to go down. Nope, not enough minions there. Blue buff will be stolen away, though, by logiX. It's going to go over to Akaiso, obviously playing LeBlanc 1-0-1 now compared to the 0-0-1, and Well, we talked about this LeBlanc pick against Morgana, which didn't make that much sense on paper, but doing a good job of it so far.
Yeah, and he's basically going for Graves and Soraka. He's blowing his load on them instead, which is wisely done. It also means, obviously, there was just a straight farming session in the middle, which he kept up relatively well with 95 CS to 99, so kept up very well, really. Yeah, and like you say, Sleazy Weezy did get ganked on that top turret as it was happening down the bottom there. He got away with it, though. It's just like Lee Sin can, dashing straight, safeguarding onto the minions and managed to get away from the tower just about in time. I'm on about 32 health, I think he was, when I last looked at him. You can see the Kai'So now. There you go, there's that black shield straight away used by Bambucha, just blocking it straight off. So managing to get it up before the silence hits, and quite happily just keeping a Kai'So at bay. Bottom lane is being pushed pretty heavily here. I'm seeing Intox taking down the wards. He has got an Oracle on now, so Janna. So his bottom lane, though, will be pushed. You can see Kennen is actually some distance away. Will get a big chunk of damage onto this one playing. Has got himself that pickaxe and triple Dorans, along with the Berserker Greaves, which he had quite early on. Meanwhile, you can see up the top, Dolladro is going to take their golems down. Is he going to go towards, or is he going to go for red? Looks like he's just going to go for red. So continuing his farming path. Shyvana doing identical as well down the bottom. So lane's returning to normal, despite the fact we did have a couple of four-man engages down the bottom there.
Yeah, and the interesting thing as well, Bambucha, from his lane phase went triple Doran's ring. His next big item, actually, is Negatron Cloak. So really going for heavy magic resist early on to complement that black shield and his defense against that ultra burst that we see coming out from LeBlanc. Actually, we've got Blood Dragon here, double buff on play. It needs to be very, very careful. That was the quick draw to try and get himself out of that for playing. Howling Gale comes in as well. Surely they're going to take him down. Heal goes off, with the ulti from Blood Dragon will go across, and they'll have Luke as well, just for the taking. He's in there, and there's nothing that Soraka can do in that position with three of them all bearing down. logiX are actually going to leave those minions to it, take away this next wave as well, and then I'm sure return to finish off this bottom turret. And well, that could actually be the first turret of the game. We've not seen a turret go down so far in the 16-minute game that we've had.
Yeah, meanwhile, you can see that, well, they've actually left the turret. They're quite happy to just fight past it, like Severus is doing there. So this is kind of like they do with the top lane often. You can see Volibear actually did manage to get a little poke on towards Sleazy there. I'm not too sure if he's quite as strong enough now. Sleazy's starting to hit that scary level that you get with Leigh Sin. He has got the wriggles built up. Just keeping my eye on Janna as well, doing a great job clearing out the awards. Obviously, that bottom was all really because Janna managed to get in the bush, support v support, and actually just force him back, force Soraka back, and just say, no, really, I am taking your ward out of this bush. And obviously, Blood Dragon followed straight in. So good, clear planning there from logiX to manage to get that kill down the bottom. You can see the bottom tower, like you say, is taking him down very low. The mid tower actually has barely been touched, but Kai'So is taking away that Wrath. Wrath? I don't know, it is a bit of Wrath, I suppose, but Sleazy Weezy at the top has been flipped again, just continually being flipped to the tower, but really isn't that worried about it. He can just safeguard away from it and just tank up the turret hits, which is all he's doing. And Psycho is slowly but surely being chipped down on health.
He is indeed. And we've just seen Deathfire Grasp as well being picked up by LeBlanc in case he wasn't bursty enough. That Deathfire Grasp going to be adding into that one as well. We'll see now if Morgana falls foul of that one. Looks like second Dragon Intent is coming around. Of course, it was logiX who took the first one without any contest whatsoever from ESC. And, well, it's going to be a similar picture for this one. ESC not even having a sniff. And I think one thing that's really played part in this game in these last 3 minutes or so, Deman, is Intox with that Oracles. He's done a great job of making sure that Vision was all in logiX's favour, that there was no chance that ESC could really expect ganks anyway. In fact, there's only one ward from what I can see down. Okay, there's two. There's one pretty much deep inside their own jungle on the bottom side, one up in the tri-bush on the top. But other than that, if you press F1, you can see from the other point of view, it's absolutely brilliant vision from logiX.
It is brilliant vision, and like you say, the bottom tower now being pushed, actually. Psycho actually being forced back on the top lane as well by Sleazy Weezy briefly there. But yeah, I mean, Severus is doing a fantastic job. He knows he's got the lane won, so therefore he's not worried about actually taking any of the minions. Oh, tries to go with the ulti dive there. Actually went for Luke instead. Luke won't get caught out there. Severus does manage to take him down. Will he go on towards play-in? Needs to be careful. Dolladro is coming in. They are going to continue to try and follow until play-in. I'm not too sure whether play-in should have came back into that. Had to use the heal. Janna ulti trying to keep him in pinned in position. He does. does. Intox might go down, though. Doesn't want to lose that Oracle. Will try and get away from this one. Has got support of Blood Dragon coming around the side there. Dolladro will maybe actually go down here. Don't tank the turret, Intox. What are you doing? Backs away from it. And meanwhile, the minions also take that bottom turret out. And Sleazy Weasel was pushing up the lane as I missed the kill on towards Morgana there as Blood Dragon managed to get across along with a Kyoso. And wow, pretty crazy stuff here. And logiX have just turned up the volume very quickly.
Yeah, and that was a great flash over from Blood Dragon. He knew that Morgana was there. I'm not sure where the vision on Morgana came from, actually. But either way, he flashed over the top. Black Shield was on, but he had like 0 health anyway. Kill was finished off. Kennen has just picked up Phantom Dancer as well to add to his arsenal. What has he already got now? Let's have a look here. Wriggles from earlier, plus that Phantom Dancer, plus the Berserker's Views. He's 3-0-3 compared to a 0-3-0. Graves. That tells you a big story in this bottom lane right now. 30 CS also ahead is Severus, and he's just dominated that bottom lane. There's no real other word for it, actually. He's played absolutely brilliantly, controlling it. They even kept that tower up longer than maybe most people would have, just taken the farm from the minions, letting his minions do that minimal amount of damage to the turret. That allowed them another kill because ESC were back in that lane. They got in there and got even more. And you can't really see at this point anything other than, I say anything other than logiX. It can still change around. It's definitely not a game that's finished, and we are seeing them pushing again onto playing. Obviously, that Phantom Dancer now playing a big part into what Severus's damage over time is going to be doing, and actually playing is forced to go home straight away on that one. Meanwhile, in the middle, Dark Binding lands, plus the Shackle as well onto Bambusha, but not really doing too much. And this middle lane has been a fairly big farm fest, actually. I mean, we've seen that one gank come in. Bambusha did go low a couple of times. His death actually came in the top side of the jungle where we saw Blood Dragon flash over the top. So now he's done a decent job of staying alive in this lane, but I don't remember seeing Maokai in this middle lane for a gank ever.
No, but you can see that the red buff being taken away again here. logiX fully in control. They're quite happy to let Kennen 2v1 down the bottom now, and he is actually going towards playing, despite the fact he's 2v1, has no fears about Luke whatsoever, and will completely force him away from the experience there. So red buff stolen away by Blood Dragon. Blue buff was also taken by Blood Dragon. That was on his own jungle, because Kyoso had picked up the one. Oh, but Severus has actually been dived down the bottom there. Maokai was on him, but they just don't have enough to pin him down. They don't have the damage on him either, and he can just zip away from that one. Now Morgana's going to get caught out here. Has tried to go in for the kill. Bambucha, though, might go down in the process. Yes, he will do. Shyvana jumps straight across there. And Akioso does back straight away. Very nicely played there. Completely in control of the situation. And logiX really are turning the screws on them here. 9-2 up. Massively in control. Sleazy Weezy has been causing problems now. He's actually been roaming a lot more than Psycho. You know, I'm not too sure what he can do against him right now. Even on the turret, he doesn't really look. You can see he's not doing any damage at all. The Psycho's just sort of built defensively because he's got the phase, he's got the Giant's belt. The Sleazy Weezy doesn't care. He's just fighting on the turret there, quite happily beating it down. Mid turret goes down to Shyvana as well. And I'm not too sure how this fight's actually going to play out between the two. Sleazy Weezy actually used his ulti kick there. Has still got the red though, so that's going to tick away. Uses it as safeguard, and Iron Will dashing between them and flashes his way. But Psycho might be able to get on, get a flip on here. It will surely be enough, but no, he's got away again. And that is the beauty of Lee Sin in the top lane. It's why Voyboy was pretty much the man of the tournament throughout. He did get the man of the tournament MVP, actually, didn't he, for the whole event, but that was purely down to Lee Sin's just so easy to escape with him. Oh, playing might get caught out by Blood Dragon here. Blood Dragon, wow, look at the damage he's already doing to him. He's going to surely dive in the turret. No, he's backed away from that one. Could have ulted on the turret there and definitely would have got him, but he's got to be where he can see the amount of wards he's got out. He was completely aware of the position of Maokai and of Soraka there, although despite the fact he's still terrorizing them in their own jungle.
Yeah, completely terrorizing. The three of them there, and they're like, no, let's stay away from that one. Let's take a quick look at the wards again. When we press F2, we see that, well, you can see the lanes, and that's about it. When you press F3, it's a completely different situation. The entire jungle of ESC is full of these wards from logiX. They've done a great job of keeping vision over the entire map for the last, I'd say, 15 minutes of the game since we've seen Janna with that Oracles clearing out. and a real big, supports never get enough credit, actually. It's very rarely that someone will ever see supports or ever give supports the credit that they're worth. And he's done a fantastic job of that one. Dragon number 3 is now being taken. I think it's Dragon 3, maybe it's 4. No, 3 works. If you look at the clock, it makes more sense.
18 minutes, yeah.
It took me a while. Math's not my strong point. Well, that Dragon is going to be going down. It's going to be, 38k to 25 by the time they finish pushing this last line. 37 now with Dragon. Ooh, actually, Bambusha does line the Dark Binding there onto a Kai'Sa. But guess what? Sleazy Weezy is there, focusing wisely on Luke, who's got barely any hit points. Got Kindle Gem and Philostone at this stage of the game. Compared, if you look over towards the other support, of course, Janna, who's got Philostone, Heart of Gold, Boots of Mobility to get around and get those wards completely out of it, plus a Ruby Crystal for a bit more survivability as well. Really tells the massive, massive story if you look at the bottom lanes of these two teams.
Yeah, and the gold advantage as well. I mean, it's 11k. It's a definite dominant performance from logiX here. They can still throw it away there. They've got to be careful they don't completely screw it up. Plane gets taken down the bottom there. Completely pinned out by Severus. Back in towards the mid lane. That means that AD carry has just been dominated really by by logiX. Severus on Kennen. 4-0-3 now. Has got that nearly Infinity Edge built up there. Sleazy Weezy getting caught out. But you know what? They shouldn't die for that. They were never in a position to go for that one. Dolladro now going to get caught out there. Will back away. Severus wasn't quite in position to get the stun across them. But that was pretty much a lot of ultis used up purely on Sleazy Weezy. And Sleazy Weezy is built pretty tanky. He's got that frozen mallet in there along with the Wriggles and the Mercury Tread, so he wasn't really in any danger. Now the question is, have they just done enough to pull off for a Baron? I don't think they will do. They're just going to go back and continue farming. Honestly, they could probably keep pushing the pace here, but they are going to back away. But you can see that Intox there continues on placing all those wards down. Luke's trying to clear them out, and it's like Intox is like, no, you're not going to go near them. You don't have an Oracle. You can't afford it. I've completely pinned you the whole game. And you can just see, the gold difference between the two supports is huge. 5,400 to 3,800. That Oracle paying its dividends all the way because he's completely cleared out the jungle. They've still got nothing, like you say. If you do F2, there's just nothing at all there. So they've completely cleared out their vision. The only saving grace at the moment is that Psycho is actually still farming quite happily.
Yeah, Psycho's still farming, which is he's had a lot of pressure on him from Sleazy Weezy in the past. Does have Frozen Mallet built up. He's up to around about 900 gold at this point. And things like Red Buff is there, will be smited away. Blood Dragon will take that one. They'll actually finish off the small lizard as well. So they're going to have a spawn time on that one for the next time that it comes up. But logiX really stealing everything possibly, everything that they possibly can away. Shirelia's Reverie picked up by Janna there as well, just showing again how much further ahead she is than Soraka, who's still sat on a Kindle Gem. Kindle Gem there also picked up for Volibear, and Kennen has just finished his Infinity Edge. Scary, Kennen is scary.
Well, that's it. You just look at Kennen compared to Graves. He's got the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer complete, whereas Graves has only just got the Infinity Edge complete. So a massive, huge difference between these two. 3,600 gold between the two AD carries. That is enormous. And it is, like I say, enough to get that Phantom Dancer completed. So big, big difference in the teams. 10-2 in the kills. 41k to 29k. We all know it's a one-sided match, but you never know. You do see some pretty big throws in this game, and we saw some huge ones at the Grand Finals when the pressure's on. I'm not too sure whether really ESC are piling on enough pressure, though. And actually, logiX are kind of quite happily sat back and waiting for them to come out and maybe push them. They're just happy farming right now. They realise they've got a huge advantage. They know that ESC, it's for those to do something with it. But just look at the level difference as well between them. You can see that level 12s, 10s, level 9 support there, playing only on level 12, whereas you can see that Kennen's up to 16 already, so there's a 4 level gap between the AD carries, and that is why they're pulling Baron, and quite happily doing it as well. They're not really that worried. They've got a good ward placement here. Will they peel off? I think they might. In which case they'll go straight for ESC. Howling Gale going straight across there. Blood Dragon actually getting caught out, but they did already pick up the Baron. They were far too slow coming across. Shirelia's Reverie will get popped. They're going to dive on towards play in. And the Black Shield just about preventing it. Dive in. He will go in. There's going to be a Kennen ulti straight across. Absolute explosion across. Howling Gale catching them all again there. Morgana ulti did manage to ping off, but it's not going to be enough. It just wasn't enough damage down. Bambucha will go down. Psycho follows. And that was a 3-for-0 clean exchange from logiX there. With that Baron buff, they're just going to drive on through the middle.
Yeah, absolute domination from logiX, and well, it's something that you'd pretty much expect with Baron on them so far ahead. Actually, Severus just tanking the turret for a little while. Sleazy is going to come in next, but they should be able to push through and have themselves an inhibitor with this one. Actually, ESC have backed completely away onto that fountain show. That should allow just about enough time before ESC are able to come back and do anything. Sapling goes in. logiX don't give a flying crap about those saplings coming in onto them either. There goes the inhibitor, and we are going to see them back away, and not even losing too much health in that fight either. That's the worrying thing for ESC. I mean, it's 13 for 2 now. Let's bear in mind that 2-1 was in place in favor of ESC after about 5 minutes, I think.
It was,
So
but it was
not
a
gone
close
their way.
start. But they just, just those couple of ganks, clever little play from Intox there. Getting the Oracle early on, clearing out the wards, freeing up the time for Shyvana. Shyvana was obviously invading very early on. Sleazy Weezy continued on. So really, like I say, they've picked up the meta of Moscow 5 and used it very well against them. And with that Shyvana Lee Sin combo that you have there, you could obviously switch it up and put Gangplank in there as well if you like. Koso is going to pick up the blue, and it's taking them away. Will he clear them both out? Why would you not clear them both out? You want the timings on them now. That doesn't make sense to me, but there you go. He's going to back away instead and say, no, you're never going to have a blue respawn ever again because we're going to finish the game in time. So let's have a look. You can see the items popping in down the bottom of your screen. In that spec mode, you can see actually Void Staff nearly being picked up by Kyoso there. They've all gone for the pots as well. You can see the Brilliance pot, the Agility pot's being used. Brilliance pot and Sleazy Weezy. Fortitude pot as well. Severus actually hasn't been back and got those pots, honestly. Don't know why. He's got 1,000 gold. He should have just gone and bought those pots, but he's going to pull the Dragon out. And I think the last push will be coming in imminently there, Joe. I don't think they're going to wait for this Baron buff to wear out. It's got around about just shy of 1.5 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, they're surely going to be able to to push this one.
Oh, playing.
Bottom lane, playing. Just farming, guys. Just farming. Need it at this stage. But obviously caught out completely. No wards there. Nothing that he could do about it apart from just be sat in his base, not getting any farm, and letting this game even probably slowly a tick away for them. But just a little bit of news. We talked about how important this game was when it comes to the playoffs, as Sleazy Weezy just gets himself straight over the wall, and he's going to be in their faces, causing all kind of problems. ESC needed to win this one to be sure of a top 2 finish, but it looks like they're going to lose it. The interesting thing is, the team that could have knocked them out of the top 2 spot, NTW, have actually won their game. So if ESC, like it's showing at the moment, lose this matchup, they will have to fight through from the quarterfinal stages. Damage coming in now to Bambusha, who is actually going to Black Shield himself up. Why not take the inhibitor down? Here we go then, as ESC do start to back away. And well, it is pretty much GG. It doesn't take a genius to see that one. It will take a bit of a miracle, to say the least, for logiX to not win this game from ESC's side of things. And we are going to see... Psycho came straight into the middle of it. Actually, Bambusha will pull the ulti off. And as you can see, Kaiso not doing too much damage in there. Kilda's finally coming onto Kennen. Kaiso going very, very low. Actually, his passive will be popped as well. Bambusha goes down. Sleazy is still knocking away. Soraka will fall. Plate is actually still alive, but is Doladro going to get away? Yes, he is, at least. So now Psycho now the focus of the attention. Graves goes down. And we see Volibear go down as well, and that is all but an ace. Only Doladro on the tree man still alive. His second turret is going to go down, and the Nexus will follow. And that will be, 9-0 called out by Blood Dragon. And, well, deserved indeed. 9 out of 9. We see logiX go in the group stage for EPS Germany, not losing a single game. And despite what was a really close and promising start to this game, Deman, it ended up in a bit of a stomp at the end.
Yeah, it was the full snowball came on, and really well played by the jungler and the support as well. And the Sleazy Weezy kind of had it in control at the top there. So obviously, I'm still a little confused by the LeBlanc pick. Had no impact whatsoever on his actual lane against Morgana, other than just kept up the farm, which is pretty impressive in itself. Keeping up farm with Morgana, who can just simply AFK pool, is quite big. But very dominant performance there from logiX. They proved that they were top of the league, and 9-0 clean sweep. They are going into the finals. Yeah. Big, strong favourites.
Yeah, real great stuff there. The kind of tells a story on its own, that post-game screen. We don't really need to run down that one. You're seeing the teams in action. I'm going to quickly bring up here the groups and how they look right now, or at least before. I'm not sure how much they've been updated, but let's quickly switch over there. Anyway, you can see them. So logiX 9 out of 9, top of the pops. Awesome. And go straight into the semi-final. ESC are going to be dropping into third position because MTW won their game against Homeless, which means that MTW and logiX go straight into the semi-finals. Don't need to be bothered with playing this quarter-final game. Homeless then, and now this is where I have to kind of switch around between Skype and everything else, because the admins were feeding us information there as well. So apparently Homeless will finish in 4th, gamed in 5th position, but a three-way tie is still possible for the 6th and final spot in the playoffs if Acer wins. So Acer in Team 8, in position 8. This is, again, far too much maths for me.
It's a three-way tie for 6th spot, basically.
Yeah, Peculiar, Alternate, and Acer, if Acer win, are going to be in a three-way tie. How that's all going to work out in terms of what the admins have to do, God only knows, and the admins, I hope, as well. But that's something that you want to keep your eye on, because we will be bringing you some more action from the playoffs. Actually, on Thursday night will be the Go for Law Eastern Nordic monthly finals. Obviously, €500 up for grabs there. Always great action we see from the from Nordic and East. Always one to definitely get yourself tuned in for that one. We will try and get a Reddit post up as well, so that we have more than half a dozen elite viewers who follow us on Twitter from that as well. And what else was there coming up next week? Not too sure yet. Thursday definitely won't be Go for All West. We've decided to move that a week forward because Deman has to work. And, well, it just wouldn't be the same without Deman. What should I say? Oh. Yeah. But Demon's actually making another appearance like a boss tonight. Demon, why don't you
I need to go quick.
Oh, yeah, true. You're 20 minutes late already.
Yeah, on to Ready Up TV in a moment, so I'm going to be on there. I'm joined by Scara as well Dogbot and OD that are going to be on there. So we're going to be talking all things LoL, obviously with Dignitas, and they've got IPL 4 coming up. They've just had that Fatality tournament. They've got the big issue with Cutie Pie as well. I'm going to try and breach that subject as well. And, of course, they were second place at Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, so there's a lot to talk about with those guys. Yeah,
don't forget to follow us, guys, on Twitter, @Joe_Miller. And I don't know where to point to Deman now because I just pointed to myself, at QV Deman. And also make sure you check out Deman's YouTube at youtube.com/4Deman.
And Deman HD on Facebook now as well.
And Deman HD on Facebook as well. We've got QV Deman.
Yeah.
Deman HD. Actually, my YouTube channel is called Joe Miller HD. It's yet to be released, but it's going to be maybe.
It's going to be awesome when it does.
But another username to throw out there en masse because some American politician decides that he can get away with stealing all the Joe Miller URLs in the world.
Yeah, someone steals all the demons.
Eat him on Google Plus. So what up? Joe Miller, the politician from Alaska. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Again, sorry we only had the one game to cover time, but since it's last play, everything has to go at the same time to prevent any funny business going on as per the rules of the ESL. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on Thursday for the Go for LoL East and Nordic. I don't even know what month final it is. It's possibly February. February sounds about right. I think
it sounds about right. February sounds good.
Yeah, I think it'll be February final. But either way, 6 p.m. CET on Thursday. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you in a couple of days.
Good night.